I'm a massive fan of white pepper. So when I saw Po make this white pepper broth with a bit of a technique from Luke Nguyen, I knew I had to try it, and I did, and it's an absolute favourite of mine, so I have to share it with you. And the technique that Luke showed was to toast off the sea salt flakes before you add them to a terrine that you make. So I'm going to show you how to do it. We get a pot and we heat it up, and then we're going to add in 2 teaspoons of flaked salt. The reason why I'm measuring it out is because 2 teaspoons of flaked salt looks like a lot, but it's actually not, because it's flaked, it has more volume. So the salt, I've toasted the salt for between 30 to 60 seconds. I'm going to take it off the heat, and we're going to pop it into our food processor. There we go, we're in. And to the salt, I'm going to add 500 grams of pork mince, and a teaspoon of sugar, and a tablespoon and a half of fish sauce, and that's our seasoning. Yum. And lid on, and we're gonna blitz this in the food processor until it's a smooth paste. And now that's fully incorporated, we're going to make it into a terrine-shaped log and wrap it up in cling wrap, put it into some water and bring it up to a simmer and simmer it for an hour until it sets. And then wrap it up like a little present, make it nice and tight, twirl at the end like a little lolly. Make sure you twist towards the seam. Do this 4 times. You need to do lots and lots of layers of cling wrap so it doesn't explode in the boiling water. Just to make sure, I'm going to truss a little bit of string around it as well. I'm going to pop this terrine into a pot of water. I'm going to bring that up to a simmer and simmer it for about an hour. Now it's time to get into our pork ribs, and these pork ribs are fabulous. They're just flavoured simply by white pepper. And I love that about these pork ribs, and it really reminds me of my grandma. My grandma and white pepper just go hand in hand. So this is for you, Gran. So we've got some muslin cloth. This is great to have in the kitchen. It comes in really handy for all sorts of things, and you can just use it to strain things off. And I'm going to use it to make a little bouquet garni just with white pepper. We have 1/3 cup of white peppercorns. Pop them in. We're going to just put our string around. There we go. Twist it up a little bit. Reminds me of making lavender bags when I was a little girl, or the school fake. Give them a bit of a crush them up a bit, and that's all you need to do. Pop that into your pot. No heat just yet. Okay, and now we've got our pork ribs. So pork ribs, you buy them like this, but you need to cut them into single pork ribs. I've already done a lot, but I'll show you just how easy it is with pork ribs. Just cut in between each rib. You can go against one bone if you want to have more meat against one bone, but I like to go straight down the middle of the meat with these ones, so the meat has more chance of staying on the bone rather than falling all the way off. So ribs in, 1.5 kilos of pork ribs. In we go. Get our little bouquet garni on the top, and then 2 litres of veggie stock. Pour these over, now you can turn the heat on. And if you had 2 people in the kitchen, where's my Linton? We could do this simultaneously at the same time, and then it'll be done in no time at all. Lid on, and after an hour of simmering away quietly, the meat should be falling off the bone, and we'll be ready to prepare our soup. So our pork has been simmering away for about an hour, and look at that, that is good to go. And same with our little terrine here. Lid off this one. I'm going to get the terrine out to let it cool down so I can handle it. Yeah, there we go. And just put that there to rest a little bit. And I'm going to get on a little saucepan. I'm going to steam off some of our coriander. Before we do that, it's time to prepare our noodles. So, big bowl. Singapore noodles, I like these, they're yummy, they taste great, and they go really well in soups because they're a little bit thinner. So pop this in, pour over hot boiling water. I'm going to let those soak just for a few minutes. They only take a few minutes, and that's what I love about fantastic noodles. They're easy to have in the fridge, easy to prepare, and makes a meal complete. Now, coriander. Oh, it smells so good. I love coriander. It's just one of the favourite herbs in the whole world, well, amongst, you know, a handful of others like dill and parsley and basil and tarragon. Anyway, this is going to be the vegetable in the dish. A big bunch of coriander, nothing else. It's a really simple comfort dish, really comforting and great to have any time of the day. I'm going to just chop off the roots and then just using the stalks and the leaves. We're going to pop our coriander into a small pot of simmering water, just a little bit of water down the bottom. We just want this to steam lightly. In we go. Leaves on top. I'm going to pop the lid on and let this steam only for a few minutes until it's nice and wilted. And while that's happening, I'm going to open up this terrine. You can see how much it's shrunk a little bit. Just cut off our string, cut straight into the plastic and then cut along. And then there you go. There's our little terrine. How cool is that? So you can make your own little terrines and pâtés so easily, just using that technique, and you can use them for all sorts of things. Your banh mi's, salad rolls, different, you've got your lovely little pork terrine here, no preservatives, no additives, all really natural ingredients, and you know exactly what's in it, and it's so simple to make. You can make your own pho, and you have these little bits of pork terrine in your soups. Incredible. There we go. So I'm going to slice up that. Delicious. All right, I think it's time for our noodles. Our noodles are definitely done now. Get our noodles out of the bowl and it's soup time. So this is a really great meal to make for your friends, family. So comfortable, this soup. I love it. It's a big hug. Little bowl. So I'm going to put in a bit of noodles and then a few yummy pork ribs, a few slices of our yummy pork terrine, and then have a look in here, our yummy steamed coriander. Whoop, from a distance. The stalks now, they smell so good. And then ladle in this delicious white pepper broth. I love this soup. It really smells of white pepper. It's got a gorgeous flavour to it. Excellent textures, slow roasted pork ribs, homemade terrine, fresh coriander. Try this soup, it's so yummy. The white pepper is just so comforting. It reminds you of my grandma with completely different flavours that she would have made it with. But I just love it so much. It's truly magnificent. Really, try it. It's yum.